Hi, my name is Ibrahim Ayman, and our group will present about how does foreign direct investment influence the unemployment rate in Malaysia. So, this study is conducted to discuss whether the dependent variable, which is the unemployment rate in Malaysia, is highly influenced by the independent variables, which are foreign direct investment, population growth rate, inflation rate, and gross domestic product growth rate. So these problems are identified by research from articles. So the problem statement for this study is the unemployment rate in Malaysia is highly influenced by the independent variables that I have stated before. One of the objectives of this study is to study the relationship between foreign direct investment and unemployment rate. Next, to study the relationship between GDP growth rate and unemployment rate. Furthermore, to study the relationship between population growth rate and unemployment rate. Last but not least, to study the relationship between inflation rate and unemployment rate. So, the purpose of writing this paper is to find the relationship between foreign direct investment on unemployment rate in Malaysia. At the end of the study, we will able to prove whether foreign direct investment is highly influence the unemployment rate in Malaysia or not. Thank you. That's all from me.
Okay, next, I will continue with the methodology. The needed data, which are the independent variables and the dependent variables, were collected from various platforms such as World Bank data, Department of Statistics Malaysia official portal, and other open sources like the Google itself. For your information, our independent variables are GDP growth rate, foreign direct investment rate, population growth rate, and inflation rate, while our dependent variable is unemployment rate. All the data that we collect are from Malaysia, and it is taken annually, 30 years starting from 1990 until 2019 in the form of percentage. All the data obtained has been transferred to and analyzed by using Microsoft Excel. The tests that have been used to analyze the data are descriptive statistics, Pearson's coefficient correlation, and the multiple linear regression. All the results are presented in the table form and described or interpreted in short paragraphs.
Hi, my name is Shelyza binti Mohamad Azuwan, and I will proceed with our presentation by presenting the findings from our research. I will start off with the descriptive statistics. So in descriptive statistics, we are going to observe three items from the results, which are mean, the median, and also the standard deviation. In descriptive statistics, we are going to observe these three items because we are going to compare and observe the spread of the data, whether it is widely spread or not. So in this finding, in this descriptive statistics, we are going to observe for the four independent variables, which are the FDI, the population growth rate, the inflation rate, and also the GDP growth rate. So for the first one, which is FDI, as you can see, the mean for FDI is 4.09 and the median is 3.775. So from here, we can see that the data is rightly skewed, and that is why the mean is slightly higher than the median. As for the standard deviation, it is 1.888, and this indicates that the data points are clustered close around the mean. Therefore, it is reliable because the data is not widely spread. Next, we are going to proceed with the population growth rate. As for the population growth rate, the mean and median are found 2.06 and 2.04 respectively, and with having the mean higher than the median, it is just the same as FDI, which it is rightly skewed. So and this is because the mean is slightly higher than the median. And for the standard deviation, it is found smaller than the mean with 0.496, and therefore the data is also reliable and not widely spread. We will proceed with the inflation rate, where the mean and median for it is 2.714 and 2.695 respectively. And since the mean is higher than the median, the data is rightly skewed as well. And on the other hand, the standard deviation is 1.271, and with a lower standard deviation than the mean, it shows that the data is not widely spread. Therefore, these data are also reliable. And finally, the GDP growth rate. We can see that the GDP growth rate's mean is 5.785 while the median is 5.765. And with a higher mean than the median, this data is also found rightly skewed. And as for the standard deviation, the value of standard deviation is 3.596, which is considered as a low standard deviation because it is slightly lower than the mean. And therefore, this data is also reliable because it is less widely spread. So generally, we can see that the variable GDP growth rate has the highest mean value with 5.785, and the lowest belongs to the population rate with 2.06. And the variable with the least variation is population growth rate with 0.2408. This is the calculation to get this 0.2408 is from coefficient of variation, where we are going to see whether the data has a low variation or a high variation. So this shows that the population growth rate, it has the most reliable data because it is the least spread amongst all four.
Okay, next, I will continue with the second finding from the Pearson's coefficient correlation. The above table is the results of Pearson's coefficient correlation test that we have done. This test is conducted to measure the statistical relationship or association between the independent variables, which are the FDI, population growth rate, inflation rate, and GDP growth rate, and the dependent variable, which is the unemployment rate. From the result, we can see that all the independent variables are positively correlated to unemployment rate. However, the strength of correlation cannot be concluded as strong positive correlation, since all of them are ranged between 0.0266 to 0.1809. This means that there is a positive correlation or positive relationship between the independent variables and the dependent variables, but the degree of strength is low or can be considered as weak. The variable population growth rate has the strongest positive linear correlation with the unemployment rate compared to other independent variables with the R value of 0.1809, followed by the variable FDI, which the R value is 0.1557, and GDP growth rate with the R value of 0.0459, while the lowest positive linear correlation, lowest here means that it is almost fall to no linear correlation towards the unemployment rate, belongs to the inflation rate with 0.0266 of R value.
Hello, my name is Norsyasha Afiqah binti Aminrudin. I will continue with multiple regression analysis. Multiple regression analysis is most common form of the regression analysis. As a predictive analysis, multiple regression is used to describe data and to explain relationship between one dependent variable and two or more independent variables. For our analysis, we use unemployment rate as a dependent variable and four independent variable, which is FDI, population growth rate, inflation rate, and GDP growth rate. For the first table, as you can see, the multiple R is 0.2435 or 24.35%, which means there is slightly low correlation between the variables. Next, R2 is 0.0592, which means all the independent variables stated are affecting the unemployment rate by 5.92% only. Next, from the ANOVA table, we can conclude that the model we study about is not significant because the p-value is greater than 0.05, which is 0.8111. For the last one, all the p-values stated are greater than 0.05, and we can conclude all the independent variable, which is FDI, population growth rate, inflation rate, and GDP rate, is not giving strong correlation and not affecting unemployment rate. So, as the conclusion, the model that we analyze is not significant statistically because all the p-value are greater than 0.05.
Based on the data analysis that we have performed, we concluded that the foreign direct investment has a negative relationship with unemployment rate, which also means that it is not highly influenced by foreign direct investment. The result in the Pearson coefficient correlation showed a positive relationship between the two variables, unemployment rate and the foreign direct investment. But at the same time, the positive relationship is weak and the strength of both degree is low. Theoretically, FDI has a negative relationship with unemployment rate, as FDI can help to create more domestic jobs due to foreign investment from foreign countries to home countries. For example, when foreign countries decided to build a business in Malaysia, this will help to create more job opportunities. When FDI increase, the employment rate is supposed to decrease. However, this became the other way around in this research. Therefore, we believe that there are other factors that influence the unemployment rate rather than FDI. We believe that there must be other possible factors that has caused the unemployment rate to increase at the same time as FDI. Future researchers are advised to identify those other possible factors that have a strong correlation and are affecting the unemployment rate significantly. Generally, we suggest that the related parties to consider this issue seriously and to take into account to identify those other possible factors that has caused the unemployment rate to increase within the country. A high unemployment rate will also affect the country's gain. For example, taxes. And unemployed people will not be able to pay taxes since they don't have a stable jobs and income. Therefore, the related parties must take appropriate action to provide more job opportunities to fellow Malaysians.